You company from your day.
On. How to believe. Happy New Year, happy 26. It's always a great time to be alive on the Podcast Radio Network. Here for the 21st century, it's a really girly with someone Korea, sending you nothing but love and light. Because you know what? It's about to be lit, or basically, it has started being lit in it. But download our app on the Google Play Store. Get your healthy supplements, ashwagandha, sea, Moors, Manuka coffee, multivitamin. And also, we do have the aloe vera and also cucumber aloe vera and cucumber. So for the ladies over there, order your supplements. We do have the clothing store section. You also get your t-shirt, mags, bags, hoodies, beanie hats, dad hats with the Black Watch 5 Radio logo on it. So remember, you can definitely download the app using the iPhone. Go to www.blackwatch5radionetwork.com using the Android device. It's super free to download the app on the Google Play Store that you can order your Bitshirt. But before that, I delve into the conversation of the day about the homelessness in the United States of America, or the other side of the United States of America that they don't showcase each and every time. They only show you the good and fabulous places in the United States of America or in Europe. But today we'll definitely take a look or take a listen at the homelessness in the United States of America, so that also Mr. Biz will definitely take all the help there, because I believe they literally need it more than we do. But right now, let's listen into the health and benefit of some of the supplements we do have for you on the network.
Discover the natural power of ashwagandha, an ancient herb known for its healing properties. For over 3,000 years, ashwagandha has been trusted to reduce stress, increase energy, and improve focus. Our ashwagandha is carefully grown, harvested, and processed to retain its maximum potency. Each root is hand-picked and dried, then ground into a pure, organic powder, ensuring the highest quality. Simply mix 1 teaspoon into your favorite beverage or take it in capsule form as prescribed by a healthcare professional. Whether you're looking to balance your stress levels, boost your immune system, or enhance mental clarity, ashwagandha offers a natural solution. Experience the benefits of ancient wisdom backed by modern science. Trust nature. Trust ashwagandha. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the sports and nutrition store.
$8.90, you'll get your ashwagandha General Mosquito. I hope you've ordered your Bitshirt. By the way, the time is now to order that supplement. Also, as I said earlier, you can take a listen or take a look at the clothing store section that we do have the Max bag, the Black Hot Fire Radio flag with the logo on it. Before I delve into the conversation about the homelessness in the US, and it's one of the societal issues that the United States of America is actually suffering from, but they don't really talk more about it. They always showcase Africa to be the black sheep. Right away, before I start that, I want to start with this teaser of the one and only Wangari Maathai giving us an amazing, mind-opening conversation about foreign aid and the fact that it isn't charity, it's a business.
It was coming back as $4. Now, when will those people ever...
I must start again.
For every dollar that was being sent to these poor countries as aid, it was coming back as $4. Now, when will those people ever develop? They are indebted for life. They are literally slaves. And governments in the developed world kept saying, oh, we can't make any changes because these are banks, these are independent. So we were telling our governments, for goodness sake, if you can't pay, just tell them you can't pay, finished. For every dollar that was being sent to these poor countries.
For every dollar that was sent to Africa, 100%.
As aid.
What do they get back? $4 in return. They take back $4. So we have to literally understand. Thank God that the UN, actually, the USAID was taken off Africa because it did open a lot of people's mind, mostly Africans. And it was so sad to see a lot of people crying over that. But also I understand because a lot of them are employees in these companies. But hey, we are the big deal. Foreign aid isn't charity. It's a business. And we did have the one and only Wangari Maathai, who actually mentioned that a very long time ago. And I believe at the time people are not really woke to what's really happening, or it was not the time when guys are waking up or Africans are waking up. So we wouldn't actually read through everything she's talking about. And real development does not come from dependency. It comes from honesty, accountability, and leadership with courage, or basically conscious leadership. Hashtag Ibrahim Traore. What should Africa do more of? We should definitely get rid of every leader that we do have right now because they're part of the system. And actually have leaders like the one and only Ibrahim Traore. That's a start. That's a big start. But how do we do that? We need to be fearless. Because right now in Uganda, it's crazy. the internet has been shut down because, air quotes, they're saying they do not want any negative news to spread on their election, or what's not happening not to be spread out. But that's not true because they know what they're going to do, and that's why they're shutting off the internet. And the question is, Ugandans really wake up, because the time is now. If Tanzanians did wake up, every part of Africa, people are actually questioning and waking up and standing up for justice. What are you doing about this? But we'll definitely delve into this conversation. And also, it's the year of the fire horse. Are you in alignment with that? Right now, we'll take a look at the homelessness in the United States of America.
Homelessness is one of the largest societal issues in the United States. In 2022, a staggering 882,500 individuals were experiencing homelessness on a single night across the nation. Out of this homeless population, around 60% found refuge in sheltered locations and 40% were left to reside in uninhabitable spaces, such as streets or abandoned buildings, highlighting the harsh reality faced by a significant portion of the homeless community. 1. California. In the state of California, the homeless population has been a significant and growing concern. As of 2022, California had the highest number of homeless individuals in the United States.
Guys, don't you think Mr. Beast should be helping his people instead of actually coming to Africa and trying to instigate that there's poverty in Africa? But look at this, honestly. The money he has needs to help the Americans who are actually suffering from homelessness or going through these kind of scenarios, honestly.
With a staggering 221,521 people living without a permanent residence. This accounted for a 6.2% increase in homelessness since 2020, ranking it as the 18th highest increase among U.S. states. This issue has been growing for well over a decade, as evidenced by a 23.4% increase in homelessness since 2007, the 8th highest increase in the nation during that period. Furthermore, California's rate of homelessness is the highest in the country. Perhaps most alarmingly, 67.3% of the homeless population in the state is unsheltered, which is the highest unsheltered rate in the United States. 2. New York. In 2022, New York had the second highest homeless population in the United States, with a total of 104,178 individuals without a stable place to live. This figure reflects an 18.7% decrease in homelessness since 2020, which means that New York had the second highest decline in homelessness in the past 2 years. Despite this progress, the amount of homeless individuals in New York has increased 18.5% since 2007, the 10th highest increase during this time. In terms of homelessness per capita, New York houses 52.4 homeless individuals for every 10,000 people, making it the state with the 5th highest rate in the country. Despite this concerning data, the state has one of the lowest unsheltered homeless rates in the U.S., at 5.4%, the third lowest in the country. 3. Florida. Florida has a significant homeless population, ranking third in the United States with a total of 45,959 individuals experiencing homelessness as of 2022. Despite this high ranking, the state has seen a decrease in homelessness over the past few years. From 2020 to 2022, homelessness has declined 5.6%, making Florida the 37th U.S. state in terms of homelessness change. The reduction is even more significant when looking further back, as there has been a 46% decrease in homelessness since 2007, making Florida the state with the third largest decrease in the nation over this period. For every 10,000 people in the state, approximately 21.9 are homeless, putting Florida in 21st place nationally in terms of homelessness per capita. However, the state faces a substantial challenge with unsheltered homelessness.
And these are the sides of the United States of America that you don't see in your face. They don't actually showcase it, but it's so easy for them. It's so funny how they're in a different part of the world and they're so interested in showcasing how Africa looks like. Is it not super funny on your end. But also, we do have another conversation or an overview of the homelessness in the United States of America, and is at a record high with over 770,000 people experiencing it in 2024, driven primarily by the severe shortage of affordable housing, stagnant wages for low income workers, and rising rents. This crisis affects nearly all demographics, including families, veterans, and youth, with the disproportionate impact on VI or BIPOC or BIPOC and the LGBTQ plus individuals due to systematic barriers, while the working poor are increasingly vulnerable, often sleeping in cars or shelters despite having jobs. Okay, look at that. Despite having jobs. Key factors is the problem include economic instability, health crisis, and the end of pandemic era protection, making houses unaffordable even for full-time minimum wage earners. So we do have the key statistics and trends. That is the 2024 data. Record high, over 771,000 people experienced homelessness on a single night, an 18% increase from 2023. We also do have vulnerable groups. This record numbers of families with children, unaccompanied youth, and chronically homeless individuals were recorded. Ethnic disparities, all racial, ethnic groups saw increases with large surges in Hispanic, Latino, and Asian communities. We also do have the factor, which is the geographic concentration. We do have California as the video that we've actually showcased right now. New York and Florida have the highest absolute numbers through rates vary. And also, there's a video over here in regards to what's really happening, but also we do have the causes of all this. And the main thing I'm sharing about is the fact that they're always showcasing the worst parts of Africa. And I believe in every part of the continent, whatever continent that you're in or it is, the good sides and the bad side, or very, let me say, the developed side and the undeveloped side. It's obvious, 100%. But the main part that they are always showcasing about Africa is the undeveloped side. That's what the world knows about Africa. It's really hard to find a video, maybe from other Africans and basically people who are like trying to shine a light on the redefining of Africa. But the day-to-day media streams, or basically the videos that are always shared on social media, it's always the undeveloped side of Africa. So we do have the primary causes that actually cause all this homelessness. Housing affordability crisis. Rents have outpaced wage growth significantly, making it impossible for many low wage workers to afford housing. Poverty and low wages, insufficient income for essential needs, with minimum wage for below the housing wage in most areas. And the last two is systematic factors, which systemic racism, lack of culturally competent services, and health disparities, which affect marginalized groups. And also the economic shocks, inflation, stagnating wages, and the end of COVID 19, as they're saying over here, relief programs have worsened current condition. But we'll come and take a look at that in a minute. But before that, I'll share this, and then we're going to go back to another conversation with the one and only Joshua Maponga.
Approximately 45.2% of those experiencing homelessness are unsheltered, ranking Florida 11th in the nation on this metric. It's 4. Washington. The state of Washington has also been grappling with a significant homeless population, ranking 4th in the United States with 40,211 individuals experiencing homelessness as of 2022. The unsheltered homeless rate in Washington stands at 50.2%, making it the 9th highest rate in the nation. Additionally, the state has the 6th highest rate of homelessness per capita, with 52.6 individuals per 10,000 people without a stable place to live. From 2020 to 2022, Washington experienced a 10.0% increase in homelessness, placing it as the 15th highest increase among U.S. states. Looking back further, the state has seen a 7.8% increase in homelessness since 2007, ranking 16th in the country. 5. Texas. In the state of Texas, the homeless population has been a notable concern, ranking 5th in the United States with 34,432 individuals experiencing homelessness as of 2022. The unsheltered homeless rate in Texas stands at 44.9%, making it the 12th highest rate in the nation. Additionally, the state has the 36th highest rate of homelessness per capita, with 11.3 individuals per 10,000 people without a stable place to live. Encouragingly, from 2020 to 2022, Texas experienced a 10.3% decrease in homelessness, placing it as the 8th highest decrease among U.S. states. Looking back further, the state has seen a significant 38.6% decrease in homelessness since 2007. 6. Oregon. In 2022, Oregon has the 6th highest number of homeless individuals in the United States.
Oregon, yes, I've remembered. Oregon is the place where my friend was actually showing me, who was there, and he showed me how Oregon looked like, the amount of homelessness that Oregon was actually facing at the time. And that's how I was like, oh my God, they do not show you this other side of the United States of America. I had a friend there who was driving and he was like, Everton, I want to show you something. I'm not sure if I'm going to believe it, but I want to show you something. And the whole time we were talking on a video call, I'm like, that's a long call. And that's a lot of people who are homeless, you know? Oregon is the place I remember now.
States, with 27,959 people living without a permanent residence. A striking 61.7% of Oregon. The state has seen a significant 38.6% decrease in homelessness since 2007. 6. Oregon. In 2022, Oregon has the 6th highest number of homeless individuals in the United States, with 27,959 people living without a permanent residence. A striking 61.7% of Oregon's homeless population is unsheltered, which ranks as the 4th highest unsheltered homeless rate in the nation. The state also has the 3rd highest rate of homelessness per capita, with 62.3 individuals per 10,000 people experiencing homelessness. Over the past couple of years, Oregon has seen a significant 22.5% increase in homelessness from 2020, making it the 9th highest increase among U.S. states. However, the overall increase in homelessness since 2007 stands at a modest 2.10%, ranking 18th in the country. 7. Massachusetts. Massachusetts has the 7th highest homeless population in the United States, with 25,507 people experiencing homelessness as of 2022. The state ranks 11th in the nation for homelessness per capita, with 32.2 individuals per 10,000 people living without a stable residence. Fortunately, Massachusetts has a relatively low unsheltered homeless rate of 7.3%, ranking 45th in the U.S., indicating that a majority of the homeless population has access to some form of shelter. Over the past couple of years, the state has made considerable progress in addressing homelessness, with a 13.7% decrease from 2020, which ranks as the 45th largest decrease among U.S. states. However, since 2007, Massachusetts has seen a slight 2.5% increase in homelessness, ranking 17th in the nation.
Absolutely. That's the other side that they don't showcase or actually show you anywhere in social media. But we'll definitely find out the reason, because you know what? Power has to be protected in all ways, you know? It's a perception of how you view, you know, the people are trying or who've been actually trying to be over you in everything.
Estranged from the truth. They don't have access to it, you know. I'm not saying that as an insult. I'm not just lashing out at the West or something. No, You have to understand, this is factually accurate. It's true. And there are massive, complex ramifications from this fact. You know, you can't just say that the West are all liars and then click your tongue in contempt. Do you understand? There are whole systems of thought, systems of government based on those systems of thought, academic disciplines, fields of study, you know, economic, political, societal frameworks, and interpretive paradigm for understanding the world, all of which we have adopted. We've adopted it and taken it seriously. And all of that has been built by and for.
Absolutely. It's all an agenda which has worked for years. It's all systematic. It's all perception.
So-called civilization that lies about everything. This is a disaster. I don't think you understand. It's like if you were a contractor, say, or an architect, you know, a builder, and you get hired to build a house. Someone hires you to build a house or to build a structure on a certain plot of land. Okay, now the one who hired you is giving you all sorts of strange demands, odd instructions, you know, farcical requests and stipulations of how he wants the building to look like, how he wants it to be. And you do what he wants. You follow all his instructions, and then he changes his mind. And then you need to redo the work. You know, you do all these time-consuming, tedious things that he's asking for. And finally, the house or the structure is built, but it's not architecturally sound. It's structurally flimsy. Nothing works. Stairs go to nowhere. The plumbing is tangled. The electrical wiring doesn't work. It's all a mess. On and on. It makes no sense. It makes no sense to you as an architect, as a builder, until you find out that the man who hired you is actually criminally insane and he murdered dozens of people. That's why he wanted you to build a house. You thought you were building a house, but all you were actually doing was building something to hide the bodies. All you did was cover a mass grave. And that man didn't care whatsoever if anything in that building worked at all. All it needed to do for him was to conceal his crimes. Do you see? That's the West. But now you're taking all of those instructions of that criminally insane person and putting them into your textbooks, putting them into your schools, into your minds, even though all of those instructions were only given for one purpose, to conceal his victims. You know, to misdirect and to conceal, to deflect and to conceal his victims. It was never about building a sound structure. It was always just a cover-up. Once you realize that, then you realize that everything that you got from him is useless. I mean, it's useless to you. It's useful for them for the reasons that I mentioned, but it's useless for you because it's all lies. It's all based on lies. Your sociology, your economics, your political philosophy, your political science, your theories of this and that and the other. No, it turns out it was all just a cover-up. You know, GDP is not a measure of a healthy economy. That's like measuring someone's bicep to try to measure how strong they are. But see, that's exactly why they do it. That's exactly why they do what they do. Cover up and misdirection. Military spending is not doesn't show you how strong your military is, but that's what they want you to measure, and that's what they want you to think that you are measuring, is the strength. You see, it's all cover up and misdirection. You see what I mean? Their whole so-called civilization, the core of the rot of their so-called civilization, and the core is rotten. The core of it has always been that they have never understood properly how to assign value to anything. They give value to what is worthless, and they treat as worthless what is valuable. And they do that in...
They give value to what's worthless, and they give... What did they say?
Military is, but that's what they want you to measure. And that's what they want you to think that you are measuring.
And whatever is valuable, they don't give it worth. Like Africa, like 100%.
The strength. You see? It's all cover up and misdirection. You see what I mean?
And it's funny because it just, before I was in there, we're talking about the fact that they give value to what's worthless, and they don't give value towards worthful.
Their whole so-called civilization, the core of the rot of their so-called civilization, and the core is rotten. The core of it has always been that they have never understood properly how to assign value to anything. They give value to what is worthless, and they treat as worthless what is valuable. And they do that in every sphere. Okay, so we're talking about a whole system of thought, a whole system of government based on that system of thought, economics based on that system of thought, and so on, all built on lies, misdirection, confusion, and misassignment of value. or it's a worthless system. It's a useless system. It's a rotten system. And you and I are going to have to come up with our own system, our own thought, our own.
Absolutely. And leaders who will definitely walk on that path, because the leaders who we have right now, they've been assigned to actually value what's worthless.
Own fields of study, our own disciplines, our own way of understanding the world, our own paradigms, our own interpretation of reality based on our own sources of knowledge. And I mean, you have to dismantle everything that they gave you.
I love this. I love this. So true. Relearning and learning to dismantle everything that you know and what you've been taught by the Western system, culture, name it, education, everything doesn't actually revive you, bring the best version of yourself. Nothing leads you to understand your African identity, the African ancient history. Nothing leads you there, but everything leads you to what happened during the post-colonial era.
Everything that they gave you for understanding the world. You need to remove that lens that they gave you to look through because it just distorts everything. You know, have you ever put on someone's glasses, right? Someone's glasses that aren't your prescription. Prescription glasses that are not designed for your eyes, not designed for your vision. Well, you can't see in those glasses. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you prescription lenses. He gave you exactly the prescription that you need. And if you try to wear any other lenses, it will only make your vision worse and you'll be walking around blind, especially those Western lenses, because in fact, they didn't give you anything but blindfolds. That's what they gave you. They gave you a blindfold and called it glasses. But once you take the blindfold off, you take off those blinders and you get your prescription lenses back on, then you can start to see the way things really are. So for instance, for me, with Middle Nation, with my content, I know it doesn't fit into any standard categories. You know, is it analysis? Is it commentary? Is it forecasting? Is it critique? Is it political? Is it economic? Is it social? Is it left? Is it right? You know, on and on. Let me just clarify something.
This system has been built on the agenda of actually glorifying this other nation to be the greatest of all time. It has made people not to question anything that actually comes out of their mouths or whatever they're trying to spread, whatever agenda they're trying to spread all over the world. It has made people not to question it, to believe everything they say, to believe everything that actually comes out of this nation. And that's very sad because it makes you not be an open-minded person. But the fact that this has always been a system that we've grown up with, taught since you're little kids, and because if you're a young child, your mind is like a sponge. You actually delve in everything that you're taught and it sticks into your mind. And that's why it can be so hard to actually relearn. I can say painful because I saw a lot of videos when Astro Speed came to Kenya or Africa on TikTok, and a lot of African Americans are actually breaking down because it's a fact. Like whatever they're taught about Africa, it's not the fact that they don't know. It's what they've been taught about Africa, and they're like, okay, I don't want to go there. But when I Shows Speed showcased the beautiful faces of Africa, South Africa, name it, it's painful because you've been living a lie all your life, thinking that your hereditary home is a place where you don't want to go. And it's because of what has been taught to you since you're a little kid. That's heartbreaking. It's super heartbreaking, honestly.
About that. The kind of analysis
shows you the kind of people that you're dealing with or the kind of people that are actually in charge. You know, they do not want you to know who you are. They do not want you to know the truth. They do not want you to take back your power.
that I do, people generally describe it as, and I've even described it myself as, geopolitical analysis. But that's not quite accurate. I've only said that because there isn't really a specific field that has a name for what we do. I'm not fundamentally interested in geopolitics as it is traditionally defined. My work, the work of Middle Nation, is focused on the analysis of power dynamics and then how those power dynamics play out or how they're likely to play out. You know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that he puts one people in check by means of another people. He said that there are people who are higher ranks than others, that some have what others do not have, and so on. He said that struggles and battles are go by turns. All of that has to do with power dynamics and understanding who checks whom in this world, or who predictably could check whom. It seems to be pretty basic information that you're going to need to have if you want to understand what goes on in this world. Geopolitics, in the conventional sense, tends to fixate on the relations between states, borders, alliances, treaties, military positioning, and so forth, which is basically like looking at the stage and the actors on the stage, but not looking at the directors or the script writers. But the Middle Nation approach goes further than that. We look at who actually has power, regardless of what kind of power that is. Now, that includes state power, but also, of course, it includes private sector power, financial networks, media empires, asset managers, transnational corporate systems.
Before I get back to the video, it's also a conversation of how Africans and also Africa can actually get a hold of the economic sector. That's actually a big deal. Taking me back to the day last year, I visited the tea firm in Limur, and it's so sad what they're teaching people over there. They're teaching people how tea actually originated from China. It's just a very weird concept. I just got tired. I couldn't handle it. I'm like, I can't listen to you right now because this is so frustrating, honestly. So can we take a hold of our economic sector, because that's where the power holds, our resources, our minerals. If we are in charge of our economic sector, because that's why we do have to have all these global nations flocking in Africa, because they know everything they're trying or they're developing their countries with actually originates in Africa. I'll share a video right away. Good afternoon, Jerry Mosquito, of how Africans should take a hold of Africa and actually come together unity. And that's why we've been divided. And that's why also I believe even African Americans or the curriculum in the United States of America does not showcase the beauty of Africans or the Africans in Africa. And it makes them not even want to come back home, because you're like, what are you going back to? And we do have the one and only Mr. Beast doing his best, actually pushing the narrative of how Africa is the worst place to be on earth. I want to share a video right away right now before we go on a short commercial break of the solution to the mistreatment of Africa is in the hands of Africans. But right now, we'll definitely listen to a video or some of the supplements that you have on the website for you.
Fuel your body with complete multivitamin, the perfect balance of essential nutrients for daily health and wellness. Carefully formulated from natural ingredients, our multivitamin packs vitamins A, C, D, E, plus key minerals like zinc and magnesium to support your immune system and boost energy. Just one tablet a day is all you need. Take it with water and feel the difference as prescribed by your healthcare provider. Stay active, stay strong, stay ready with Complete Multivitamin, your daily dose of vitality. Complete Multivitamin, simple, powerful nutrition. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition store.
$90, you'll definitely get your supplement over there. I'm taking my CMOS religiously, and it's doing wonders on me. So kindly order your ashwagandha, your beetroot brain focus, your mosquito. I see you there. It is a must for you to order it this year because it's really important. Before I move on to that conversation, I remember a conversation of the fact that I'm talking about how Africans should take back their power, mostly in the economic sector, is the part where Asha Speed actually was trying to buy diamond in Zambia. And he was told it's only 2 companies that can actually do that. And we do know that De Beers are the ones who own, so funny, how they own a percentage of the diamonds, gemstones in Zambia. Does it actually ring a bell? Not at all. So I'm going to share that and why I believe Africans should take back their power, actually in the social, political, economic sector. But most importantly, why are they here? For the minerals, for the resources. So why don't we have a lot of knowledge about our resources, about our minerals? Because they do not want you to know the truth. And why are you impoverished? Zambia, with the greatest gemstones of all time. that everybody's wearing on their neck, on their fingers, name it. So I'm gonna share a video right away before I read General Mosquito's comment over there. And thank you for the ones who are listening to me on the network, on radio, and on YouTube. Remember, you can download our app on the Google Play Store, stream on www.blackoutfirenetwork.com for amazing healthy supplements, apparel, clothing with the Blackout Fire Radio logo on it. I'll definitely share a video of the De Beers, Diamond Company, and Black Labor in Zambia, and the fact that Aisha Speed could not actually even buy diamond because here's told we only have two clients who can directly buy diamond in Zambia, and we do have a very big percentage that is owned by the De Beers in Zambia. I'm gonna share that video right away before we delve into that.
One that feeds the business pursuits and wanderlusts of Europeans and Americans, while starving Africans of their own right to see their own continent. Let me give you a few more examples. For a Senegalese woman to travel to South Africa, she needs a visa, which might take 2 to 4 weeks to process. For a Nigerian man to travel from Nigeria to Cape Verde, both of which are countries in the same economic community at a similar distance as Madrid is to Hamburg, his total trip time will take 22 hours. He will begin in Lagos and then fly to Casablanca before flying down to Bissau and finally to Cape Verde. So what does the ridiculous nature of this journey show? Well, it demonstrates how a lack of infrastructural connectivity complements our lack of knowledge of one another. It's bad enough that the world makes it difficult for many of us to visit North and South America, Europe and Asia. It's even worse when we impose these restrictions on ourselves. The consequences undermine every goal and agenda set by the IMF, the UN, and the World Bank, which is to see Africa prosper self-sustainably. International movement, to an extent, mirrors our ability to exercise personal liberties. Bearing this in mind, I've identified 3 main consequences of restricting the travel of Africans. Firstly, it prevents the average African from wanting to discover the world beyond London, Paris, Dubai, New York. Secondly, it allows for a missed global education for Africans on regions like Rajasthan, Patagonia, Basque Country. You've heard this before, but I believe it's worth repeating. The solution to the mistreatment of Africans is in the hands of Africans.
I believe so.
We, as Africans, are responsible for creating an Africa that is politically stable.
100%. I definitely agree with this wholeheartedly. Because if you're waiting for the politicians that we call them leaders to come and actually redefine Africa, honey, they're not even thinking about you and me. It's a fact. You can see it from the development. You can see it in your counties. You can see it from the fact that how the part of where you live is not as developed as it should be. So you cannot wait for anybody you're trying to actually put in power to come and change your world. It's up to us to say no to the leaders who are not conscious. I do have Walter Adaipo over here who speaks through to power, urging Africans to stop waiting for external validation because, honey, they know everything about your history, and it's so sad that you do not know anything about your history, but they know everything about you. They know your genetics. They know everything to do with you, your DNA, because they've started it, and they know how powerful Africans are. So we should stop seeking validation. They steer off the fire hose and actually take back our power, most importantly, and understand that power is in our hands. We are the change you need to see in the world. From visa restriction between African nations to the urgent need for unity and pride, most importantly, unity, and actually gives you a perspective of why we do have these little fragmentations of country that we call African countries. It's all Africa. We are all one. And also from this conversation or this video that I've shared right now, her message is so clear that Africa's liberation begins with Africans themselves. When Africans begin to take Africa seriously, the world will follow. The world will notice. and the world gotta respect you. I'm telling you. Next to the next video right away, before we delve into the comment section. How are you doing, Jerry Mosquito? I see you. Thank you for joining me. I will definitely share another conversation of the Bears. And they own, Jerry Mosquito saying actually they own everything. They own all the diamond in Zambia, the audacity.
Nicky Oppenheimer, chairman of De Beers, for over 100 years the hub of a global diamond empire, greets the who's who of the current ANC government of South Africa, including the deputy president, Phumzile Lambonuka, one of the most powerful politicians in the country. They are here to open Diamond World, a theme park devoted to the commodity that built South Africa, diamonds.
They're here to open the diamond world. It's like they discovered it. I'm so sick of this, honestly. It's so sickening. And to see our own people collaborating with people who don't really care about you.
Then, as now, the state and De Beers stand firmly at each other's side. Only this time, the state is black.
This indeed is a splendid occasion, and it's fantastic for De Beers to have played a role in this process and getting us where we are today. Huge things are being done here, and it's particularly important to appreciate what diamonds have done for South Africa.
At the height of its power, De Beers controlled over 90% of
I said it, like all of it, General Masuda, 90%.
the world's diamonds. It was one of the most successful monopolies in history, and it was built on the backs of cheap black labor.
The Oppenheimer, is there a movie called The Oppenheimer that I was not watching, like just seeing the awards right now? Let me take a look at that.
The De Beers mines made use of the segregated compound system. Miners were virtual prisoners unable to leave until their contracts were up. They made use of the pass laws. Once released from the compounds, miners had no free movement in the country. Their pass was good only for a return trip to their homeland. De Beers shaped many of the systems on which apartheid was later based. The whole country would become not unlike a De Beers diamond mining camp. When the apartheid regime collapsed and the ANC came to power in 1994, everyone wondered if the De Beers empire would survive under the new regime. But De Beers' overwhelming presence in South Africa's economy is what saved it. The ANC, like the apartheid government before it, depends on De Beers to sustain the economy. So at Diamond World, exploitation has become nostalgia. The children of the miners are the new rulers. Then, as now, the state has an interest in diamonds. And diamonds will serve anyone with money and power, white or black.
That's it in regards to the De Beers Diamond Company and Black Labor. And it talks, actually, it's all followed up with how actually all this, the power agenda, is all systematic from the education.
How much money is now on the table?
Yeah, $5 million.
Educational system, and how the agenda of how mostly Africa should be perceived and how other nations should be perceived.
$5 million, just on this table.
Siberia, the middle of nowhere. In it, the city of Mirny. And its existence.
Alrighty, as we actually delve back to the conversation as we're almost winding up here on Mosquito, I'm going to read your comments right away, right now. Just a minute. I have a last video to share right now in regards to the US rigs and black rocks.
Traditionally part of geopolitical analysis, but they're absolutely central to understanding the exercise of real world power. I mean, in my opinion, if you ever listen to an analyst, so-called analyst, talking about politics, talking about geopolitics, and they never factor in corporate power, they never factor in private sector power, the drivers of economies, the real drivers of policy, well, that's an incredibly shallow and ultimately misleading so-called analysis. So whenever you evaluate a situation, you shouldn't be asking, for example, what is the United States government doing? You should be asking, who is shaping the outcome? Who can impose costs? Who can alter behavior without being altered in return? Once you identify the who, then it's not that hard to understand the why, what the desired result is, and try to deduce, given what you know about the who, what are the chances that they're going to be successful? And then what might be done about it? So this could be a country, it could also be a corporation, it could be a consortium or an investor network. So you need a way of gauging real existing power, relative power of any given actor, of any given entity that has influence over policy, or that wields, significant degree of power in any given society. That's why at Middle Nation, we developed what we call the Relative Power Index, RPI. The RPI is a model for roughly calculating functional leverage between power entities, or the general standing of any given actor in terms of power relative to others. We built that because the existing metrics, GDP, military size, alliance structures, and so on, these are often misleading. They reflect the appearance of power, not its realistic functionality or its operation, because a country might be rich but dependent. A military might be large but strategically irrelevant. A government might be in office but not in control. So the RPI is designed to identify real.
Come on, it says something really powerful there.
Decision-making metrics, GDP, military size, alliance structures, and so on, these are often misleading. They reflect the appearance of power, not its realistic functionality or its operation, because a country might be rich but dependent. A military might be large but strategically irrelevant. A government might be in office but not.
Is that Africa? Is that Africa?
In control. So the RPI is designed to identify real influence. It includes factors like decision-making authority. Can you impose binding outcomes? Control of inputs. Do others rely on you for what you control? Narrative control. Can you define reality for others? Immunity to retaliation. In other words, can you act without facing consequences?
Come on, but as you're almost winding up, it's all systematic. It's all an agenda to actually push the white supremacists 100%. But Africans are woke, and they're actually redefining the trajectory of Africa. But that has been my time, family, here on Let's Talk with Eriton. The main conversation was the homelessness in the US, and I talked more about how Africans should definitely take back Africans and actually redefine it. And also I talked a little bit of the De Beers who own 90% of the diamond in Zambia. And I believe that will definitely be my conversation next on the next show. The De Beers and how they actually own 90% of the diamond in Zambia. The bloody truth about De Beers diamonds. That's a good topic. But remember, you can download my app or our app on the Google Play Store. Stream on www.blackwatchfireradionetwork.com for amazing healthy supplements. Outdoor clothing with the Blackwatch Fire Radio logo on it. Get your t-shirt, hoodies, max bags with the Blackwatch Fire Radio logo on it. Jerome Mosquito, thank you for joining me. I'm going to read your comments. Afternoon. You said you're sneaking in for 5 minutes. And also, Mr. Cave Beast, spreading poverty porn again, trying to tarnish Africa's image 100%. I believe will definitely help a lot of homelessness in the United States of America. So why not start from home? Also, General Muscari is saying they own all of it. Anyone that used to try and sell the diamonds was unalived. Oh my goodness. Look at that. We also do have General Mosquito saying President Mpuzale actually just trying to fit in with the people. Irutan, most Africans don't know diamonds are used for technology, not just for jewelry. Amazing. Look at that. And that's why we should definitely protect our own, my brothers and sisters. Africa is the future. It has been. But it's time to take back our power unapologetically because we're redefining Africa as we redefine ourselves. My name is Yurton Longoria. Sending you so much love and light, remembering that you are the change you need to see in the world. Thank you for the ones who are listening to me on YouTube, BitChute, and on the network. Have a good one.
You're now listening to
Salutations, massive. Here's Andrew Robinson, your Jamaican brother, all the way in Switzerland. And you're tuning into the Black Hot Fire Radio.
1 hour of the hottest tracks and coolest mashups of the moment.
Andrew Robinson, your Jamaican brother, all the way in Switzerland. And you're tuning into the Black Hot Fire Radio. And you're listening to...
You're now listening to the best music.
Feel the freshness.
You're now listening to the best music.
Feel the freshness. It's the remix. Yo. No, it's Tessa. No, it's Tessa. The most creative. No, it's Tessa.